Put the cooling curve will appear like Naresh, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, to obtain benite in our final product, okay. So, can you tell now for obtaining benite in our final product, which cooling core you will prefer or how it will appear?
Sir, the cooling curve, it's like finally when it comes out from like the finished transformation curve, so like the
temperature. The question is all open to all because these are some tricky questions in which you have to make yourself good comfortable. Please remember this is the output line for benite. Is it, Anagar brother?
yes, sir.
Okay, now we have to come out from this line. Okay, now I don't know whether my pointer is visible to you or not. Let me change this pointer. So this is the, is it visible pointer?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is the curve through which the benite will be obtained if you come out from here. So how we can get it? कैसे रहेगा cooling curve? Naresh?
3% ऑस्टेनाइट जो 723 डिग्री है उसको सर 300 और 500 की रेंज के बीच में फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वाटर बाथ में मतलब कूलिंग करेंगे, फिर उसको हम फर्नेस में डाल के कूल करके सीधा बेनेट प्राप्त कर सकते हैं।
नहीं तो कूलिंग कोर कैसे दिखेगा? अभी एक्चुअली हम क्लासरूम में नहीं है, अदरवाइज आई यूज्ड टू कॉल द स्टूडेंट एंड आई यूज्ड टू आस्क देम टू ड्रॉ इट ऑन द बोर्ड, बट अभी यहाँ पर आप मुझे कैसे एक्सप्लेन करोगे कैसे वो कोर अपीयर होगा?
सर फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यहाँ से सीधा लाइक सर कैसे
लेट मी राइट सम पॉइंट्स, लेट मी राइट सम नोटेशन। ए ठीक है, यहाँ पर बी, ओके, कुछ ये सी, ओके, ये डी, इसके हेल्प से कुछ बताइए आप।
सर ए से एक टेंजेंट डालेंगे इसके नोज पे सर, एडी जो एडी फिर उसमें थोड़ा आगे बढ़ा के फिर हॉरिजॉन्टल कर देंगे इसके टी टाइम करके।
ओके, तो आप ऐसा कुछ कह रहे हैं, इज इट?
थोड़ा और आगे बढ़ा सर, हाँ
ओके,
फिर हॉरिजॉन्टल कर दो सर, कूलिंग मीडियम चेंज। यस सर।
इज इट ऐसे?
यस सर।
अनुग्रह प्रथा, इज इट क्लियर? इज इट ओके?
So I don't get why you should necessarily be horizontal like after that part.
So you mean okay? You mean to say instead of horizontal, it can be little bit like this, is it?
Yes, sir. Like
Yes, it can be, no problem. No, but again, it depends which benite you want. There are two types of benite. Is it upper benite and lower benite? है ना? Upper benite and lower. So depending on what you want, you have to then this type of cooling is called as interrupted cooling. Naresh.
Yes sir, yes sir.
Okay, so one need to mention that it is one type of interrupted cooling which we have to adopt, and after crossing the nose, then we have to change the cooling rate up to like you can see here. Let me write one point P up to AP. There is one cooling rate, and from P onwards we have changed the cooling rate. Is it? Nikhil Santosh.
Yes sir.
Is it clear?
Yes sir.
So with this, if you observe now again to obtain benite also, we are in need of very fast cooling rate like AP It is very fast cooling rate, and hence again this is the reason why benite is not observed on the iron carbon equilibrium diagram. ठीक है, आयन कार्बन डायग्राम पे बेनाइट नहीं दिखाते हैं ना हम लोग. ठीक है निखिल?
यस सर.
ओके, कोई डाउट यहाँ पर?
नो सर.
Okay, Anugraphat, I think that point is also clear. We can have either horizontal or we can have that slope depending on what we want.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us now, this is what we had not seen yesterday, but okay, now our one main important topic which we are now supposed to start. To all, I welcome you for today's class in continuation with our yesterday's topic, wherein we have studied in-depth content related to TTT diagram, and we had seen that how one can obtain the martensite by achieving the critical cooling rate. Now today we will see that mechanism, in-depth mechanism related to austenite to martensite formation. Few lectures before we have already studied that this austenite which is there at above A1 or above that higher temperature, we can either convert it into perlite, we can either convert it into benite, we can either convert into martensite and other few pages also. Okay, so perlite we have seen, benite we had seen. Okay, so benite is although we had covered few lectures before, there we had seen it is having very fine structure, and hence even it is very difficult to observe it under the optical microscope. Okay. Now today we are going to see this martensite formation. So quickly let me know from someone what is the mechanism of austenite to perlite formation. Sneha Gupta, Vinit.
Yes sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are very clearly audible. What is the mechanism of austenite to perlite formation?
Austenite to perlite. Okay, so usually it consists of two methods, two processes, that is nucleation and growth. So first nucleation of FeC3 will occur on that austenite bound grain. So because of that, and they grow as platelets also. So during the growth, that carbon will diffuse on the FeC3 nucleus. Now, as that carbon is diffusing, you will get adjacent, you will get carbon deficient areas on the adjacent region. So, because of that carbon deficient region, you will get FeC3 plates will grow on the the ferrite plates will grow on the adjacent sides, and this will continue to form a region, form a perlite region.
Very good. Now, similarly, in case of benite also, very much similar approach is there, except which nuclei is forming first, that is the difference. Okay. But now, in case of martensite formation, it is a completely changed approach. I request all to note down this, okay, which will be useful to you later on also. So, the one important major change is here, it is a very rapid cooling, that is mandatory requirement. And now, because of this, the time available is very less. Okay, so it is completely a different approach. Let us see what is that approach. This is what you said.
Sir.
Okay, so it involves carbon diffusion. That is important. Please note down this word. It involves carbon diffusion. Okay, diffuse means it is spread around. Okay. Depending on whether it is in ferrite nuclei or that cementite nuclei. Okay. So now in case of martensite, because of rapid cooling condition, there is no time for diffusion of carbon. Underline this word. Okay. There is no time for diffusion of carbon. Now by this what happened? this martensite occurs without diffusion, and hence it is also referred as diffusionless transformation. So this martensite transformation, it is diffusionless transformation. This is major change. Now we will go again in more depth. Please note down, very minimum words are there which you have to keep with you, and later on you can elaborate it. Okay, so now let us see what happened. Normally, in our normal condition, we had seen that the austenite, which is having FCC structure, like our perlite, it is getting formed, it is having BC. So both are having cubic structure. पहले अभी हम martensite की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं. Okay, other than martensite, before change and after, before transformation and after transformation, it is having cubic structure. In short, cubic है, cube है. Cube means all the three dimensions are same. Now this you might have studied in your second year. अभी हम उसको और उसको भी रेफर नहीं कर सकते यहाँ पर. But I hope you are aware about this FCC, BCC structure, cubic structure. 70.
Yes, sir.
I think you are okay. This is what normal like in perlite, benite. Okay. But due to rapid cooling, the carbon is not diffused. Okay. अब हम martensite के लिए देख रहे हैं. So the carbon atom gets entrapped in each unit cell lattice. कार्बन डिफ्यूज ही नहीं हो रहा है. ओके, तो वो एंट्रैप हो जाएगा यूनिट सेल लैटाइस में, एंड ड्यू टू दैट बीसीसी, हमें एक्चुअली हमारा ऑस्टेनाइट जो है वो तो एफसीसी है. ऑस्टेनाइट इज एफसीसी. अब होना चाहिए बीसीसी, बीसीसी फॉर्म होना चाहिए, बट जो बीसीसी फॉर्म होते समय वो जो डिफ्यूजन लेस वाला जो कार्बन है, दैट बीसीसी आयन कैन नॉट होल्ड, एंड हेंस दैट लैटाइस जो आइडियली बीसीसी होना चाहिए था, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस सडन कूलिंग, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस नो डिफ्यूजन ऑफ कार्बन, ये बहुत मिनिमम समय में ये होगा, एंड दैट बीसीसी स्ट्रक्चर will be distorted to BCT. What is BCT?
Body centered tetragonal.
Yes, in the body centered tetragonal. अभी ये क्यूबिक से टेट्रागोनल हो रहा है. ओके, टेट्रागोनल. ओके, एंड दिस इज व्हाट द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ मार्टेनसाइट. मार्टेनसाइट का स्ट्रक्चर क्यूबिक नहीं रहेगा, वो टेट्रागोनल. द रीजन देखो, बहुत मिनिमम वर्ड्स लिखे हैं, बट दिस यू हैव टू इफेक्टिवली अंडरस्टैंड. ओके, ठीक है, आप इसको इलेबोरेट कर सकते हैं, बट व्हाइल इलेबोरेटिंग द मीनिंग शुड नॉट बी चेंज्ड. सो द BCC ion is supposed to hold that carbon that which is not diffused, but it cannot hold, and hence that lattice is distorted to BCT lattice. ये यहाँ पर हम शो कर रहे हैं. दिस इज अवर ऑस्टेनाइट जो FCC स्ट्रक्चर में है. आइडियली उसमें क्यूबिक में ही आना चाहिए. दिस इज क्यूबिक. Okay, this is cubic, this is also cubic, but because of those 2-3 reasons, martensite is getting your body centered tetragonal structure. ये यहाँ पर शो किया हुआ है. The cubic structure is no more cubic, and it is changed to tetragonal structure. You can see that carbon will be trapped in the unit cell, and hence the dimensions will be changed. I hope you are understanding it. Please try to draw this. Already we are now in the online mode. We are not, okay, for me there are, okay, limitations to cross check whether you are getting it or not. मायाजीत साहू
सर मतलब अभी मैं लास्ट क्लास में भी नहीं था, अभी थोड़ा नेटवर्क इश्यू है तो कुछ क्लियर नहीं हो रहा है.
नहीं, this topic we have started today only. Okay, in yesterday's lecture we had not discussed this anything. Okay, but still let me know what you understood. No problem. Even if your answer is wrong, no problem.
सर आप एक बार दोबारा समझा दो.
नहीं, वो तो मैं बताऊंगा ही. Okay, yes, I know the topic is like that. I am going to explain, but before that I want to at least one or two students to involve in that, so that then it will be good clarity. Let me see other student. Mihir.
So during transformation of alpha austenite to martensite, FCC convert into BCT form, and carbon is entrapped in carbon in a side of the rectangle.
Okay. Vinit.
Sir,
What do you understand here?
sir, usually when you're transforming austenite to perlite or bainite, rapid cooling, like you have sufficient time for cooling, but in this case, rapid cooling is there, so time available is very less. So because of that, carbon does not get enough time for diffusion. So because of this, the carbon also gets entrapped in each unit of cell lattice, as mentioned.
Yes. Okay.
So BCC ion transforms into BCT martensite.
Yes, okay. So our austenite, I am again repeating, Mayajit Sao, please remember, please try to understand, and others also, okay. For them I am again repeating. Ideally, okay, our austenite, which we achieved by heating the material up to the austenitic temperature, हमने purposefully हमारे material को heat किया है. Whatever the room temperature phase is there, उसे हमने हीट करके by knowing its austenitic temperature we heated it and we achieve austenite. So this austenite is having FCC structure, cubic structure. ठीक है. And now during transformation it is always better that the transformation should be cubic in nature. Okay, cubic ही होना चाहिए, तो then it will be not raising other problem. अभी हम देखने वाले हैं ये टेट्रागोनल जो फॉर्म हो रहा है ना, उससे क्या प्रॉब्लम आने वाले वो भी अभी हम देखेंगे. That you will understand very soon. But now it is expected that we can form the cubic structure, and वो हमने परलाइट में देखा है कि क्यूबिक ही फॉर्म होता है, and hence there are no other issues arising. खाली कार्बन डिफ्यूज होता है, either alternate lamellae of that ferrite and cementite form, and accordingly it goes on forming. ठीक है. But now in case of martensite, और ये जो हमने देखा था जो न्यूक्लिएशन एंड ग्रोथ वाला जो कंसेप्ट है परलाइट फॉर्मेशन के समय, इट इज अ कार्बन डिफ्यूजन एक्टिविटी. ओके. हाउएवर इन केस ऑफ martensite formation, coming to our point, there is no time for diffusion of carbon because of rapid cooling condition. कि कूलिंग कंडीशन रैपिड है, इसलिए आपके जो कार्बन अवेलेबल है, नाउ होपफुली यू शुड बी वेरी क्लियर कि ये कार्बन कहाँ से आ रहा है. यू नो दैट जैसे जैसे टेम्परेचर चेंज होता है, रिड्यूस होता है, द कार्बन reduces its affinity, that solubility limit, that core indicates the solubility limit. ओके, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली उसमें जितनी सोलिबिलिटी लिमिट है वही रहेगा, एक्सेस वाला वो रिजेक्ट करते चलेगा. ओके, सो नाउ नो डिफ्यूजन ऑफ कार्बन एंड हेंस इन जनरल द मार्टेनसाइट ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इज रेफर्ड एज डिफ्यूजनलेस ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. ओके, अब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. So ideally it should happen like this, FCC to BCC, but being that carbon which is not diffused, जो कार्बन डिफ्यूज नहीं हुआ है, the ion